Good afternoon, chart friends. My name's JoEtta Barnes, and I am the Director of Training for Alvarado Restaurant Nation. Alvarado Restaurant Nation is a Yum franchisee, and we have over 200 locations, and we're one of the top 12 franchisees. I am the Director of Training and New Restaurant Openings. Some of you might know me through Chart or through my past restaurant experience. I am super excited to be here today and talk about masterminds in our ever-changing world as trainers. When we think about what's going on in our environment today as trainers, we have a whole lot going on underneath that hat. We're graduating every single day as trainers, whether we've been a veteran in this business for plus years or whether we're new. We're challenged with things like doing things with more efficiency. How do we travel and get more of our resources out, as well as how do we provide the best tools and materials, not only to our own teams and our organizations, but as well to all the levels within our organizations. We think about training today, our world is definitely changing. Whether it be through COVID, the pandemic, or just the state of business today, we have a lot of challenges in front of us. And I really hope that we think of this as the gift. Right now, as trainers, this is the time to explore. This is the time that we get to have the world in our hands and think about how we can do things differently, faster, more efficient, or be able to share in an environment that really speaks to the learner or the audience that we're looking to speak for. When we think about a mastermind, I really leaned back into some of Chart's principles that we've had forever. Thinking about what are the hats that we wear today as trainers and how are those more relevant than ever before in our learning world. The first hat that I think that we all wear is a learning strategist hat. This hat really says, hey, as a trainer today, I have the obligation to really look at performance gaps. And I need to be kind of thinking as solution oriented, but those solutions aren't the same as they used to be. And how do I do this when I'm understaffed, short-staffed, and really get more out of my workday and more out of the teams that I'm really hoping to serve? So it's really about looking for solutions that help us improve our own productivity and our own efficiency as well as the ones of our teams. The other hat that I think we continue to wear as trainers is the hat of the visionary trainer. The visionary trainer is, like I said, we're doing things differently. And when we think about how we can deliver content to our teams, what is their new learning styles? What is their capacity for learning? We always want to really think about, there's lots of programs out there, lots of ways, but how do we maximize our dollar and really provide the newest, coolest tools to our teams and our own self? I think the visionary trainer is probably the largest hat that we're all kind of wearing right now, and each of us are kind of doing it differently. Last but not least, I think the most important hat, again, is really my heart, and that's to be a culture cultivator. Times are tough, as you all know. And when we think about championing our brand, our teams, it's really about engagement and how do we lean in, provide things that fill their buckets, that energize and really keep us consistent within the brand. So I wanted to do a little bonus, okay? Because I think about us as trainers today, we have a plethora, the World Wide Web, if you will, of information that's available for us to go and get. There's 1,050 different platforms on one topic, and it can be overwhelming. All of our great ideas can get lost without some help from our friends. And that's really what I hope to choose to give you today, is really the information that I'm finding and using with my teams and in this new brand and in this new segment that's helping us be successful in what we're doing today. So sometimes the highway is clean and we can drive, and sometimes we need to reach out to some of our friends, just like Chart Friends. So the very first bonus item I'm going to give you today is a solution called mind mapping. And not new to most of you on the phone or most of you listening today. It's really thinking of how we simplify our own work. There's 1,000 platforms out there. I've shared a few of my favorite. And when we think about mind mapping, you really have got to think about how you want to use it. We are challenged with things every day. Oh, we might need a program on that. Or, hey, can you write this? And far too often we get too far along in a project and may not have got all of our thoughts down. When you think about mind mapping, it really allows you and your team to generate ideas, increase your productivity, as well as your creativity when you get ready to design or develop any type of plan or program that you're doing. MindMap is the one that I want to share with you today. MindMap is the one that my team is using currently. It's a pretty basic platform. It's a web-based platform, so it doesn't feed through our phones. We do it through our computers or our desktops, but it really allowed my team their first sneak peek into how do we brainstorm ideas and make sure that all the content that we want to cover is covered, as well as generating new ideas. And what I think we found, and my team for sure, is our creativity has certainly increased. Things that we certainly wouldn't have originally thought of to going into a book or a program allows us to say, it does fit here, or maybe this spurs off a new topic. I think the other thing about mind mapping, no matter which program you choose to use with your teams, is it really does increase our pace to work. So when you're thinking about a mind mapping tool, whether it's MindMap or whether it's Coggle or Bubble Us, all of them can serve you and your team, but I think it's really getting it on paper before we start a project. So that's my first tip, is thinking about mind mapping as the beginning of every project versus going full bore. And I think when we think about being a mastermind, it's going to help all of us be more successful in our roles. So let's go ahead and dive in. That first hat we talked about was that learning strategist. And the learning strategist was really, again, about analyzing performance gaps and providing to your organization and your teams solutions that increase productivity and efficiency. I really wanted to lean in today with thinking about your team or your work. And I wanted to share with you something that was shared with me about 5 years ago. And I think about the first wheel of being efficiency, and that was the snipping tool. About 5 years ago, a member from Chart, thank you, Rachel, introduced me to the snipping tool, which I'll share with you in a moment. And I have ran across a CamScanner, and I want to talk how we use that. And then the other one that we want to talk about today with efficiency is Grammarly. So let's go ahead and dive in right to the snipping tool. This is a Microsoft 10 program. Didn't know it was there until 5 years ago and haven't stopped using it since. So as I said, I joined this organization about 2 years ago and introduced it to my team, and they thought had died and gone to heaven. There was so much. This is so much easier to use. So I would encourage you, those of you that are using Microsoft, to really make sure that not only do you drop it in your tray, because you will use it every day, but explore the different ways that it works. In its most basic form, a snipping tool doesn't require you to do a full screenshot and then try to snip away at other parts or crop an image. The snipping tool really allows you to drag in a rectangle. So you see the picture on the right with the lady holding the heart balloon. That really is a snippet from a larger picture. Now, the other thing that I'm starting to practice with, and my team's getting better, is Snip offers me to snip in different modes. So I have the rectangle snip, and then I also have the freeform snip. So taking something like the lady holding the balloon, no matter how I cropped that picture, whether I cropped it to a shape, I kept losing the image. Again, we are practicing, and you see that my snip I lost her arm, but I'm not that great at it yet. I can now, though, take this and crop it to a circle, and it's so much simpler and smoother to use, whether I'm using it in a PowerPoint or in a Word document. It makes images clean. So although it may be an old, tried and tested tool or tidbit, it's one that we use every day, and it's one that definitely increases my team's efficiency. The next thing for efficiency is the CamScanner. I know my team is beating the streets every day, and I know you're beating the streets every day to meet new team members, to develop your teams. And with that, we have forms and processes and things that we need to share back and forth. There are 1,000,001 of these CamScanner devices out there. CamScanner, the one that we have settled on in our organization, seems to be for us the cleanest platform to use. This is a free version, and it actually does have a paid version, which allows you to do more of a DocuSign type of a platform. We use it only for scanning documents. But if you're not using some sort of a scanning tool, you're trying to take a picture, and then how do you save that image? And those type of tools don't always lay in what is good to keep as a reporting document. An image doesn't always work. So being able to have this feature on my trainer's phone, and then just throughout the organization, we're able to share forms back and forth at real-time rate, whether they're being signed or completed. So I think CamScanner is one of those basic tools that we should all have in our tool belt to be our mastermind trainers. Now, the next one for efficiency is my personal favorite here. It's definitely Grammarly. Grammarly itself is a free platform as well as a paid platform. And what it does is it really helps us show us at our best selves. So whether we're creating a document for a training manual, whether we're simply writing an email, we all can improve our grammar skills and especially our writing skills when we have a platform that allows us to look at it a little differently. Of course, there's spell check and everything, but what Grammarly does is really allows us to look at where should there be a period and a conjunction and things that normal spell check misses on a daily, Grammarly will catch, and it'll improve your writing skills when you're writing an email to your COO, or you need to simply send something out to the field. So it's a very simple program to use as well. You simply copy your document or drag it over, and you see this was a document that I had ran through spell check. And what you see is it's really given me on the right-hand side that I need to remove a space or change an article of speech or add a comma. So it does different than spell check and grammar check just through what we have. And again, I love it because it's a free platform. I have gotten great reviews from some of the emails that my team has been sending about how they're really leveling up. So whether it's for your own personal or whether you're using it for big documents or anything, it really does help us deliver clean content no matter what the content is. So I would definitely lean into Grammarly. I'm a big supporter, and we will be probably leaning into the paid platform as we begin to develop and deliver bigger documents and bigger forms for my organization. All right, so that learning strategist had to be efficient, but they had to also get the work done, right? They had to have some productivity. And I think when we think about our worlds, we spend a lot of time at work. We get a lot of emails. We have a lot of conflicting assignments. And how do we keep it all straight is really the first step to productivity. Today, I'm going to share a couple new things that I've been using, as well as some things that you and your teams could use that are new to us, and we're really excited to share here at Alvarado Restaurant Nation and share with my chart friends. The first one is Pocket, and we'll go through that. Google Keep, Any.do, which I'm very excited about, Hours, and then rescue time. So again, how do we get the most out of every minute that we have to really be our best selves, as well as feel good about the projects that we're working on and keep us and our mind in line. So Pocket is my true favorite. My team is not as enamored with it as I am, but Pocket really allows me, when someone sends an article or they send a video or they say, hey, you should read this. And you're like, I do not have time to read that right now. I'm sure it's important. It allows me to save those files into a Pocket platform. And Pocket is a free platform for what I've been using. I've been using Pocket personally for about 5 years now and have never ran out of space on the free platform. There is a paid version that lets you do a little bit more, maybe create some more of your own folders versus driving and dropping in. I haven't found the need for that, but I think it is an interesting scope, but I'm going to show you Google Keep in a minute where I think we can go there. So the thing I like about Pocket as well is it keeps all of my favorite websites. I'm able to get into Alvarado Google Drive without typing it in, remember the password. Plus, like I say, it does help us keep those articles that we're really trying to know they're important, don't have time to read them, but know they could be a great resource for us in the future. So Pocket is one of those things. I'm not going to lose the email, but I'm also not going to lose the data. So I think it keeps it in my back pocket as a resource without digging again. As I mentioned, Google Keep is a new one. We are enjoying Google Keep as a team because it is a shared platform that you can set up. Google Keep is a little different. It allows me to build checklists or punch lists for myself. It also can set reminders. So as we begin to use Google Keep, what we're finding is it's a great place for our team to really have a working checklist. So we have set up different platforms under different users within my organization, have different check boxes or task lists associated with their particular role. It's helping us in a manner of being able to share documents or share that task list completion without that email box fill up of yes, I'm done. I can simply get a reminder that it's due. Most of the time it's already done. So we're loving Google Keep, and I'm looking forward to what we can do a little bit more with it. So lean into Google Keep. All right, this is the one that my team is just jazzed about, and I'm excited to share with you today. It's called Any.do. Any.do is a platform, kind of like a honeydew list, where we're able to create our own list of things that we want to do that says, hey, I can send this to an MIT, for instance, and have their daily task list where they complete and it's shared back for me. I can also keep an any-do list for shopping. So I have a lot of things that I can build on. I can have it personal and I can use it outside in my training world. So things like an any-do list might be, I need to pick up shampoo. I wouldn't want to put that on my calendar as a calendar reminder, but with my Any.do app, I'm able to have that populate and remind me. Again, I think when we look at Any.do in our workforce, not only is it efficient for us as trainers, but it gives us the platform to share different things with different people. So for instance, like I mentioned, we use it with our managers in training on their daily checklist, and it populates when they're done, what time they did it. Wonderful platform. We also use it for tasks within our training team. So when we set up weekly tasks or projects, we're able to assign them to a person. We can assign the date and time they're due, and then it's automatically populated into their any-do list as a way for them to stay on track and stay on target. So it avoids the emails. It gives me a place that says, hey, I'm very excited about XYZ because this is my to-do list today. And it gives you a little bit of celebration and recognition when you complete your task, and everybody loves that. So do some exploration, see if any do will work for you. We're loving it on my team, and I hope that it's an app and a platform that you can see other resources and uses for as well. The next one under that learning strategist was collaboration. And as we are short on teams or stretched in assignments, really having that ability to have people's work be front and center, to be able to grab onto their work, to have a platform that people can use for different projects allows us all to be more efficient. It also really drives that collaboration piece that says, hey, at the end of the day, I know my work's done, I know your work's done, and we can get to that finish line a lot quicker. So Asana is the first one that I really want to talk about. This was brought to our Alvarado Restaurant Nation from our new COO, who is a big fan of Asana. And the way that Asana works, again, there's a free platform as well as an upgraded platform. And the free platform really gets you almost everything you need. The bot or the pay platform really asks that you get some more features, such as some more reporting features, some more data. But when you're simply using it for collaboration, the free platform really works well for us in our organization. So what you're able to do with Asana is really build projects. So as you see here, we have an NRO process, NRO golf course in New Mexico. There's a person's development. But when I click into Asana and open up one of those, I see that I can assign task. I can assign the assignee who is in charge of those tasks or who's assigned to that, as well as I can do due dates. So when we think about planning for ourselves, Asana also, when you add these members, sends you reminders through your email of what's due today, what's coming up due, to help you keep on track and then to make sure that everybody's resources are there. The great other thing about Asana is when you did a project done, you get that wonderful unicorn. That always makes me happy, that you've completed something. It's like that little celebration at the end. Asana does allow us to also hang folders, hang files, share documents. So I may update an Excel spreadsheet in a NRO platform. That may not be something that everybody in the organization needs, but the people assigned to that platform have real-time data and are able to grab it and go versus, hey, can you send me that email? Or, hey, do you got that form done? Everything can be here, and it can be an app on your phone. So we think that in our organization, it's one platform we will definitely use to keep our collaboration and our projects on time. If you're not using Asana, at least get into it a little bit and think about what projects you and your team are working on to start your collaboration there before you maybe take it outside or in a bigger part of your organization. The next one is Doodle. This one's new to me as well. We've been playing with Doodle for about 6 months now. And Doodle is a version of a survey app, although it allows us to do a lot of different things. I first started using it to sign up teams for classrooms. We have so many teams across our nation and so many people that are far away. The Johnny coming to class wasn't really working for me. Those one-off emails or those, where is that list of who's coming and how do they know? Where is their invitation? So not only can you set Doodle up for a polling group, you can assign calendar events, you can do a survey, and you can just have one-on-one conversations with Doodle. So Doodle allows us to do different things, but it also has some great features when it comes to setting things up. So for instance, if I would use this Doodle as a way to sign a class up, I could invite participants to a shift leader sign up class. And with the features that I pre-selected in the background, I can allow them to sign up for one class or multiple classes based on the dates that I've given the class for. Sent through a link. So people don't really need to have the Doodle app. They just automatically can open the link, select their time, or complete the survey. Again, the team has loved it. We are definitely using it, and I think it's a different platform for people to use. I'm exploring it each and every day and learning something new. So Doodle has really opened our mind to, no, maybe it's not SurveyMonkey, maybe it is a different platform, maybe it's not these emails back and forth, and there's one website where classes are. Anytime that we can collaborate and get people to sign up or to complete a survey where it's easy for them, the odds of us getting those participation and that participation number increasing is much better. Next, this is where we found our money. Sign Up Genius. Sign Up Genius is a platform that I first learned through Chart and really kind of leaned back into here at Alvarado Restaurant Nation, thinking about not only having people across our nation of team members, trainers, classes, different events that we need to make sure they know about, we're able to create a Sign Up Genie and really have those class times pre-populated. We can say, invite them by email, send reminders. But the best thing for us as trainers is it really creates the reports and the stats that is a one-stop shop for us to see who signed up, where are they from, how many's in this class, and really set those dates and parameters. So again, this is a free platform. When you get into some of the more detailed reporting, there is a pay for play here to an extent. But at the end of the day, we're using the free platform, and with over 200 restaurants and 10,000 team members, it hasn't bottlenecked on us yet. So enjoying this platform, think about how you can use it in your world as well. Eventbrite was new to us. So when I think about collaboration, part of my role here is to really think about the new restaurant openings. I know that when we do these big events and when we have our grand opening events, we really struggled with how do we get that out into the communities. As you know, Taco Bells are on almost every corner, and we're proud of that. But the new ones, how do we get people so excited about coming to a new Taco Bell and really having that grand opening experience? We went with a platform called Eventbrite, and we used it for a Now Discover Your Strengths, which we wanted to host within our community as we got our new building. But we're really using it, as I mentioned, for new restaurant openings. So Eventbrite is a free platform in tons of communities across the states, which allows you to publicly share events in your community. So if I type on what's going on in Denver, Colorado this weekend, I can share my new restaurant opening event. I can share things like our community strength finders, our community food drive that we did for Alvarado Restaurant Nation, anything that you want more than your team to know about. Eventbrite is there for you. It works as a free platform. You just need to make sure that if you're doing it only for internal, you have the private button selected versus the public, or it does go on the Denver, Colorado. And the other thing that we found interesting was where we could get our extra exposure. I could post it to my Facebook. I could do it as an email campaign, and I could also charge people if it was that type of event. So Eventbrite has helped us. We went from small new restaurant opening, grand opening events where we were getting some traffic to now we've increased traffic over 300%. by just having it on a platform that's free to use, and the community is loving it. So I hope it's something you can use in your new restaurant opening events as well. All right, so now let's lean into the visionary trainer. Think about that visionary trainer. It's the one that looks at how do we deliver, develop content for the users that are out there today. How is it new? How is it different? And again, thousands of platforms out there for us to use, some free, some expensive. When we think about the visionary trainer, we're all probably on kind of a tight budget. So what do we do, low cost to no cost, that really can help us get that return on investment that we're all looking for as organization, but give our learners today the resources, the tools, the materials that they are hungry for on the platforms that they are used to using. I think of this through my journey of being a trainer. A visionary trainer really has to keep pace with the learners of today. And manuals may not be it. I may not be able to print a huge manual of a new restaurant opening or a new MIT binder. We're looking for slicker approaches, and so are the learners. So as we go through Visionary Trainer today, I'm excited to see what you and your teams might be able to share back on what tools you're using here, because this is our future, my friends. So I think of this visionary trainer of how do we develop skill while we have fun, right? So I leaned into two things that I'm super duper excited about. And one is Trivia Maker and the other one is Book Widgets. So Trivia Maker is similar to those of you that are familiar with Kahoot. Here's your new platform. Works like Kahoot, where I build my classrooms, my sessions, I build my activities or my games, and then I'm able to share that via screen, via platform, and people actually work from it from the phone, just like Kahoot. The thing that I like that's different about this than Kahoot is the game styles that I can choose from and the themes that I'm able to build. So if I would level up, Trivia Maker is a free platform as well. If I level up, I can do my own backgrounds. If I level up, I can brand my pictures. But we haven't found a need for that. And maybe that's something that your organization would need. We're more excited about having a different platform that kind of gives us the same type of tools that they're familiar with from Kahoot. So when we think about this, Kahoot really, or I'm sorry, there we go with Kahoot. Trivia Maker really starts on the same platform. I get to create my own game style. I stream it from a presenter, a desktop, and then I'm able to share that through a phone link or a number. They log in across multiple devices. They do not need to be in the same room with you. And you can really do a real-time trivia contest. You can do a longer game of a match game. I am excited about using it. My team will be using it for the 5th time as we get ready to do our quarter huddle. And they're excited about just the different features that it allows us to do. So you get to create your own game. There's plenty of games on there. My team actually said, I wish you wouldn't given me this app because some of the games on there are so dang fun. So be careful of that, but know that Trivia Maker is a side-by-side to Kahoot with some more game platforms and a little bit cooler features. Again, it's a free platform. Here's the good one, you guys. Book widgets. This is something that we are using and finding great feedback from the teams in the field. Book widgets really allows you to pick all different types of platforms and build within those platforms. There is over 100 widget types, whether it be for test and review, games, math, spelling, pictures and videos. How do you want your learner to learn? And what we've been able to do is use almost one out of each of these to kind of trial run through our MIT processes to see which one works for which application. So I want to show you kind of what we were able to do. We use the image carousel as works like a PowerPoint screen. So I can also write on those image carousels and point out and highlight different parts of a picture. As we know, pictures say 1,000 words. So different parts of an image or a picture that we want that team member to really focus on. We can send quizzes real time, which I love. We also can do culture flashcards, right? We created a deck of flashcards for culture and use them for our MITs, and a set has gone to every one of our restaurants on their learning tablets. We also did a web quest. A web quest is a very fun app that you can play with, and it allows them to kind of share a QR code, look for things, and kind of do a scavenger hunt, if you will. So I wanted to demonstrate today the quiz function because that's what we are using the most and finding that we're getting the most bang for our buck. The quiz function, when I send out a quiz, it automatically will populate a list of those students of who I've sent it to. And then it's real-time activity. You can set back, lean back and see how far someone is or progressed in the test, how long it's taken them to start the test, and then what each of their answers are. So at a glance, as a trainer, I'm thinking that question number 1, most of my students or most of our team members really get that information. Question number 2 might be a struggling question. Now, with book widgets, it also allows us to dive deeper. So I can simply click on Carter, write, name within there, and I can see the question, and then the check mark represents that he answered it correctly. But then number 2, he missed that, and his answer was. So it allows me not only to track it as a group, but I can deep dive and drill down to the individual to help them be more successful as well. The other thing, and probably the most important feature to us, was to look for people that were struggling. So when we send out a quiz, or we created a final exam for one of our trainees, this final exam lets me see this student is underperforming. It'll also let me see which questions are underperforming. So it allows us as trainers to really lean into what are we missing in our delivery, in our content, or what are our students not hearing? What are our teams not grasping? And how can I help them be more efficient in their role by redesigning the test, rethinking of the question, or maybe I need to lean into, we haven't taught that well. So what is it that we need to do differently within our training programs to rethink that particular question or that particular skill to make them and help them be more efficient? Now, Book Widgets is not a free platform, so I saved that till the end. I personally am on the $9 per month platform and been able to use it with all of the MITs we've had this year. I started it in January, so we have really been able to, we haven't ran out of space or ran out of time. But I know that if I wanted to share this and have all of my team have their own password and be able to teach it as a group, I could level up. The other thing that it doesn't allow me to do in the $9 platform is really to create my custom widgets. So mine won't be logoed. I don't think we're there yet. We want to explore this more and see how it works. But this is probably AnyDo and Book Widgets are probably my team's favorite new thing that we found in our information highway as we look to be masterminds and be more productive in our roles. So glad I got to share that with you today. Last but certainly not least is the Cultivator. when we think about champion your company, leaning into what we're being asked to do and how do we keep people loving the brand that you love as a trainer, it is all about delivering on our promise to be a great culture. And whether you weave that into every document that you print, or whether it's on the bottom of every PowerPoint, it's really about what you do, right? And we all know that as trainers. We can paste it on the wall and it doesn't really mean anything, but how do you show it? How do you share it? And one of the things that we do at Alvarado Restaurant Nation is we use a platform that's called Crew. And when you think about this culture cultivator person, it's really about how do I recognize and how do I reward. So Crew is our platform here. We are on a paid version, but there is a free version through your app store. So let's just talk a little bit about what it can do for your organization and how we use Crew in videos to really do the recognition and reward platform. Crew for us has really come to life in a way I never thought. It works simply by creating channels. So every restaurant team has their own channel. We are on the paid version, so we are able to connect that with our back of the house system and push schedules. The free version doesn't really do that, but what it does is, and what we've seen through Crew, is this thoughts and messages and celebrations amongst themselves is what really engages people. So we'll see things on Crew from a restaurant, 1, 2, 3, 4, where they'll send out a positive message, and that's shared amongst their team. They've invited me to their group, so I get to lean in and really see their conversations. But they also do things like, I don't know how to do X, Y, and Z. You'll see that kind of go out. Somebody will turn around if they put that on the big platform, and you'll see 12 different people reply with, oh, let me show you. You delete the item right here and you click this button over here. So the recognition is really coming from within. And when you do that, when they are supporting each other, I'm really finding great growth and great harmony in the teams that reach outside of their four walls to help others. We also do it for recognition. This was a new manager that was recognized in a restaurant for a great shop that she had, that we posted on Crew app, and she was famous for a day and loved it. So I would suggest, and if you're not using something that teams can communicate and use as recognition, Crew is a great platform because it's free. It's on the phone. They already know how to use it, and they're excited too. They love to text. They love to be on their phone. They love to send videos. They love to see GIFs. It's all can be done through there. And what it does is it really allows them to be them and to share their knowledge and feel good. Crew also allows us to recognize, right? So we get this opportunity to share stars. So for instance, on the free platform, you're given 25 gold stars that you can award for any reason. We have on the paid platform went one step up and really branded our stars so they represent our core values and our mission. Before we had that though, the star was the star and it was great. When we think about how we do rewards and recognition and how we keep the culture alive, we've also, really made it a big deal about recognizing the number of stars and who's received the most stars and who's given the most stars. So Crew app has really been the way for us. And we did start with the free platform for us to really see, is this a way that our teams can recognize each other, that we can continue to live our culture, and it is on a platform that they love to use. So I am super excited to hear back from each and every one of you about some of the mastermind tips that you're using. But for today, my chart friends, that's what I have to share. I hope you enjoyed this session, and I hope each and every one of you knows that you're a mastermind because you're a trainer. Thank you very much and have a great day.